Gavia Stellata. Who calls to the dark? Who, when the shadows are converted to morning, when light pours out, when day is turned to darkness once more, when dark is on the face of the sea, who dives down, who brings back a speck to build on? I do, I did. Who is the smallest and brightest and speckled with stars? I am. All things that gather to shine I bear on my back, I raise on my wings, in the black of the waters and the deep vault of space. Who dips and dives? Dense bones take me down. Who rose with a twin with another? Who breasted the face of the night? Who stitched the belt of stars in Orion? Who speeds without drag, bill like an awl and flattened tarsus, neatest and fleetest in streamlined propulsion? Who took Arcturus like a morsel of light, a pinch of snuff returned to the surface? Who calls to the dark? Who calls to the wind on the surface of the water? Who prompts the others to dip and rise, eyes like seeds of garnet, lightest and brightest, Gavia Stellata, the red-throated diver? Aye, plenty and Mair. I'm nae a' that sure about glumsh or glunch, but Grizzle and Happet are in aboard onywhy. Is the back door snibbit? Mak sure it's wide open. There micht be some neighbours come through the back garden or in o'er the wa. Gollach and Glit were never my bosom friends, but ye winna keep them out if there's other folk in. I'm nae haeing drittle nor footer though, nane of them. There's aye some scutter or sorter wi' yon. Hud back the fancies, but put them out later. Shortbread and tablet and 2 or 3 pound joteries. There was nae oofum ploofums at the baker's the day. But there's brown bread and pan loaf and butter and honey and plenty of sausages, for Tommy the best. You can aye put on tatties, there's broth on the simmer and fish when I keep. Oh, there's galshik of some kind just minded this minute in the press out the back. So row up the carpets, red the fleer, space for dancing, bring abody ben as soon as they're in, and mind noo for I tell't ye, the finest particles are longest suspended, so maist o' our relatives are still to come doon. Parable of the Willow. Too much snow toppled me last winter. 2/3, more like 4/5 of my root system torn and tipped out of the ground. Someone should have shaken my top branches or taken the weight off elsewhere, all those trailing yellow-green tufted withies. Now, though, I just continue otherwise, kneeling forward, propped on an elbow of grounded upper trunk, dispatching here and there some surreptitious rooting saps that procreate in points of good connection, getting by on less than half and half again of what stood straight and fully fixed the year before. Wry smile after deep groan is more my style than weeping. Finger touches gripping tight to stay me up, and taking just enough to keep me going. After all, I'm not a carpenter's delight, and I'm not much good as wood for the fire I sputter and spark. Measly heat with mounds of ash. But cut and woven out of coppice, wicker shelters, baskets, lobster pots, and plaited fences spurn the worm, while cricket bat blades, the handle's cane, may smack or waft the ball away. From root to osier tip, utility. Reduced to fine smooth charcoal, I can fix your life in bright and dark of chiaroscuro. Salicylic acid soothes, my bark applied or boiled as juice will ease a stound, assuage an ache in ligament or joint. That solace interlaced with healing. Wrap me round your head for grief. From severance you'll make a start. A spare green tenacity keeps me here. Latch on to that at least from what I say, and turn it to some use before a gusting wind or wanton weight of weather bowls you over too, and bows you down just so. Todd is the Scots name for a fox. It's like Reynard. Todd. A fox is before me, crossing the road as I come down by the mound. His body is arched, a little bit arched, and he looks at me sideways with care. His paws on the cobblestones light and quick, his narrow form clearly outlined, and I loping down the grey flagstones towards him. Neither one of us pauses, though we skirt each other, taking a short, canny look. The moon, risen earlier, fat wee Clementine, is obscured now by cloud or an angle of pediment. Todd slides in by the gate of the National Galleries, head low, ears pricked. My trail is Newtown and home. He, gaining an entrance, carries his tail well up, snout pointed just where he is headed. Not, it turns out, for El Greco's testing fabula, with its monkey and candle, a grinning man, the boy with pink pursed lips, nor for any hint there of vice or folly, but rather to the Venus and Cupid of Lucas Cranach the elder, wisps of drapery, tendrils of russety blonde hair, and her gaze straight out from the canvas. Todd, fixed, ignores the mischievous child with the golden bow, his yellow, honey-coloured fox eyes turned only to the lady. Small high breasts like persimmons, the line of her back and belly, heavy red gold necklaces, neat feet, splayed toes. Todd takes a slow turn or two closer, edging in, you can sense it, her totem. Soon to be gone again, scarcely there in the faintest smear of Egyptian blue, a shadow on the polished parquet floor, completing another low turn, claws, brush tucked in, falls soft and sound asleep. Deil Tak the Hinmaist is a piece that began its life in English as Unfinished Business, which was dedicated to CMG, Christopher Murray Grieve or Hugh McDermott. It could have been dedicated to W.S. Graham or to Rabelais or to Thomas Urquhart, half a dozen other folk, but it ended up being dedicated to McDermott. He doesn't have the dedication to this. There's just an epigraph which says, I think you ought to put the pillywinkies on to him. Pillywinkies are basically thumbscrews. They're an instrument of torture. The piece is simply structured. It's the kind of discovery you don't want to make, entering some building or some construction, and at each stage you find something worse than what you discovered before. So it's Dantesque in that respect. It's layered. Deil Tak the Hinmaist. I think you ought to put the pillywinkies on to him. The gap yet kick it in, and lo, they lig it. Skimmers o' pots, and scalpers o' cuddies, jaws that cleek it, rhymes that reek it, cares pink tatties biled in their jackets, deedle dabblers in cytoplasm, virtual realtors swicking and swiving, daddy longlegs, daddlin' dodies, hoodie craws crackling for the tippy tops o' trees. Deedlos or Daedalus, fits it going to be. Pusion pumpers, counter jumpers, carpet fitters bristling with a moofy attacks, tomcats, corncrakes, shally sharn shifters, couthie bicuspids, the wee glistering ends, them that would grudge ye one jow o' the bell. The neist yet swung, syne Mair was kythet, tethered dups, draggled yows, the slalom loons for Dandruff Canyon, wheepers o' candy floss, footrin' futrets, the hee-haw hookum o' heisted hizzies, foosty folk like finnin' haddies, bucky blavers with a full wecht o' blah. Shoother to the third yet, and just as you might expect, sawners and souks, harriers and haverers, grand cheels in blue corduroy, fantouche wifies, RP flannel dinkers, Parkins, Merkins, second-sected Shaughneys with hunkies clappit to their snoots, flunkies, junkies, buglers, shuglers, Methuselahs with nips and tucks, trashthrays shortened aft the shelf, as douce a set of creepy crawlies as you'd ever like to see. Hiramar, hempseed, fusionless tail toddle, deaths on the fussel like the wind through the widdy. Round the corner and down the stair, polyglot thrapple-stappers, chirpy chermers, mingers and moochers, bracken for breakfast, neighbours for lunch. Last but nae least, fleas and putty, wersh wicks in seas o' wax. Coda. Scrap it if ye fancy into lay muckle plum duff, plumes, suet, orange peel, simmered slaw and sliced it in slices, fast to say it winna last for years. Camp 4. Well, here we are again at Camp 4. Will we press on to the summit? As like as not, with all that gear and meagre talent. A low, unwelcome voice from a neighbouring lair cuts through in the most unhelpful fashion. Weather for the next few days will shut us down in any case. The wind alone would guarantee we make no move at all. Harriet's leg may have to come off, and maybe not before time. I don't actually mind the way it looks now, but she maintains it's gone beyond a joke entirely. The lentils are kaput, I'd warrant, leaving what? Sauerkraut, chutney, desiccated beef? So where do we go from here, sideways or down, and who or what do we hail to our assistance? D-brains, P-brains, strings and loops, inflationary bursts? Gravitational waves were from the first unlikely to do the trick. An increase in coupling, constant or otherwise, was never on the cards. If I had known there were going to be 5 more camps beyond this, I would have taken longer, deeper counsel than I did. And all right, another starting point entirely. These intervals make little sense to me. Even a fundamental fabric surely can be rent. It's all very well to dress up things for children, dark matter, dark energy, with little chirping spirits plausible and catchy. But get to an overhang like this, and what is there left to say? We need joists to hoist, and metaboats to lay a keel for. Block and tackle have gone to bed, believe me. To compare is not to compose. What can I add? The exchange of light, the ligatures of sound at Camp 4, while greatly improved, are not auspicious. As it gathers to a head, how do we shake off impediments? It won't be easy to stifle a memory like this, to trace out with the usual liminal bits or frozen path, fit and fair resting place for Harriet's jettisoned limb. As for hydrogen or carbon again, I wouldn't hold your breath. Companionship's not all it's cracked up to be, though blows delivered to the soles of the feet with mercury rods and yes, some subtlety might help me stir. Maybe we can vamp or cobble together tomorrow, ravel up those gaps, temporize and stuff the holes with burlap. Sometimes it rotates, or so they would have us believe. I'll eat whatever's left. No doubt you're ahead of me, but with the future fixed or translucent at best, have we the means, the truth to measure it? Keep an eye on the glass. Barometric pressure may still tell us something, though not which habits or surfaces are likely to give way. Perhaps some fresh breath or turn, some small-shaped note of sacrifice is due. Filaments, connection, energy might still be in the frame. Dust won't do it. Not this time. When do we choose who leads and how? Another length of rope should not go amiss. The final fly-leaf entry scrutinised again might offer a clue. What will it take for song and sense to make all rise and flourish, intensive, whole, aspiring? Or follow that note on a holograph slip. Like out of a bell or golden hive, a stream of bees in a luminous swarm, reverberant, resounding. I'm fairly sure, convinced, we can't ignore any of that, unless sheer folly would prove our guide. Everything. Everything is racing. Everything is vanishing. Everything is hosted. Everything is vanishing. Everything in the world that's seen, everything is vanishing. Everything that's clothed or bare, everything is vanishing. Anything for a second there, everything is vanishing. Everything is racing, everything is vanishing. Everything is hosted, everything is vanishing. Music, lovers, pillow slips, everything is vanishing. Lightning, thunder, hail and rain, everything is vanishing. In the mountains, on the streets, everything is vanishing. Scissors, paper, rock, hands, everything is vanishing. Everything is racing, everything is vanishing. Everything is hosted, everything is vanishing. The fox at night, the birds aloft, everything is vanishing. Speedwell, crocus, lotus, rose, everything is vanishing. With arms spread wide, everything is vanishing. With soft foot fall, everything is vanishing. Everything is racing, everything is vanishing. Everything is hosted, everything is vanishing. Hear it now, see me now, everything is racing, everything is vanishing. Love each other, love each other. Everything is hosted, everything is vanishing. Winegum green cardigan, tweedy skirt. Look, one of 3 women asleep across from, adjacent to me, on a train that's headed north. This nearest a terrier with chin tucked in above the checked and neatly laundered shirt. Awake, she snaps. The trolley man already found that out before she got her little boost of Pinot Noir with 6 softened dates. Now asleep, her pinched nose, her pearl-decked lobes, her silver pepper and salted hair swept up in a top-knot bun declare, if not wealth, privilege, and temper temporarily under wraps. She's been to Kew. She reads the Weekend Times. She knows her mind. Can nip, I said before. Watch out she doesn't lock her little teeth around your fingertips or rip the flesh in strips off anywhere else. Two Dark Rums in the Anchor Snug. He had no steam input, no heating input. He had, in fact, if you cast your mind back, no damn input at all. And yet always this heinous ability to twist things round to suit himself, whatever way it was or might turn out. And the course he took, correct me if I'm wrong, was to drive on hard, no matter the forecast. Gale force 9, gale force 10, made not much difference to him. I fire her up, and to hell with the consequence. Oh, he was a complicated man, there's no denying that. But right from the start, from the very first time he stepped on board, it seemed to me, he's gone through life assuming nothing or nobody could do the thing half as well as he could himself. Was that not right? Tell me. And what did we do? We bore the brunt of his stupidity. That's what we did. All the time. The boat, no steam, no heat. We took the lot. The needle valve, the bloody condenser float. Do you remember? We could never persuade him to change.